This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Geof Searles, Erik Reed, Greysin, Ishara, Ashlee Bradley, and Laura Lewis. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Anne Day to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really could not do this without you. In this episode, we are talking about Chapter 39 of The Gathering Storm.
Yeah, Chapter 39 is A Visit from Verin Sedai.
And we have a visit tonight from...
Spencer!
Welcome, Spencer!
Thanks, happy to be here. I don't think this is going to be quite as exciting as Egwene's visit from Verin, but I will do my best.
Okay, fair. And you really are going to have to work on your Egwene.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hard
one. You're going to defend the masses here. Okay. Now, I don't know if we were going to talk about it, but this is a pretty special episode, not just because Spencer's here.
Yeah.
We've been waiting to officially announce it. Wait, do you know what I'm going to announce?
That in 2 days from now, it's our 5-year podiversary.
No, that's not what I didn't know that either.
5 years,
guys?
Oh my
goodness. Okay.
Wow, congratulations!
Thanks.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And almost done the series.
Almost done the series. And 5 years ago, Spencer had recorded her first episode with us, Winter Night.
Woo!
Hey.
So it's almost
That's
my 5-year podiversary too?
That's right. That's what we're saying. So that is so super exciting. What are we going to do to celebrate even?
Drink more of the fancy pink drink cocktail that you're drinking, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. You're right.
Yeah, okay.
What were you going to say?
Well, the other thing.
That we bought a house?
We bought a house and we sold our house.
So
we're going to be moving into a new house.
We're going to be moving. On top of everything else that as if we're not doing enough in our lives.
Yeah.
We'll also move.
We've got a month and a half.
Yes. And our new house doesn't exactly have a dedicated podcast space, but it does have an unfinished basement that we can build a podcast studio into.
And enough room to do so.
In another 5 years.
Yes. Yep.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, Spencer. You wanted to be here for a long time for this chapter, I've heard.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, congratulations on the house buying. That's incredible. And selling.
Thank you.
And yes, this is one of the pivotal moments, and I'm really excited to be here and talk about it because I think it takes you by surprise, and then the surprises keep coming.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, one after another. And I think I messaged you pretty early on, a while ago, about you coming on for this specific chapter.
Yeah, and at the time I was like, that doesn't feel like it's soon, but if you say so, Brett, I'm on board. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we slowed down for the one chapter at a time, but I figured,
we did, yeah.
Yes, we're here finally, so I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah, me too.
So
I've been predicting this one for a while, it feels like.
And I don't know how we're going to distribute points here.
I didn't quite predict it exactly right.
Yeah, we got to talk about point distribution when we get there.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have been listening back, trying to find a point at which I definitively said, I know at some point I did.
Sure.
However, I was listening to the chapter with the gray man in the tower.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But that's Sheriam.
Yeah.
And I definitively, in that episode, it was chapter 15 of The Dragon Reborn, and I said, I'm on Black Ajah watch, I'm on Dark Friend watch, and I 1000% do not believe Sheriam is Black Ajah. So, I lost all the points on Sheriam that I might have gained with Verin. So.
Right.
And the thing with Verin, as someone who's read the series, who's listening to you go through it for the first time, I think every time Verin comes up, you do mention she might possibly be Black Ajah. And as a seasoned reader, you always pick up on that because you know she is. So I've heard you say it a million times, but it's always wishy-washy, right?
It's wishy-washy and kind of half-joking. And
apparently for good reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
Maybe that's the gold star. You picked up on it, but we're unsure, but it's very obvious why you should have been unsure.
Sheriam, hard no. Verin, I picked up on that.
Maybe.
She for sure was lying, and I picked up on the lying situation from the beginning.
Look, I'm still gonna argue that because
I did pick up on the fact that she lied.
I'm gonna argue that she didn't.
At the end of the Great Hunt? That's what book
Yeah,
two
I'm
is?
still going to argue that, though. There's arguments against the fact that she, in fact, definitively lied.
No, but she can lie.
She can, yeah.
So she
I know
probably
that.
did.
Yeah, I would say that she definitely did.
I know that, but I'm just saying I can argue that she didn't.
You
But
can do a lot of things.
She had to lie in such a way that she wouldn't be caught in the lie for sure, definitively.
She has an out, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, we're talking about that's a long time ago. There's more important things that happened this chapter.
Yeah. Okay.
And we only have so much time.
You know, we have a lot of time this evening.
We have only so much time before we've all had a little too much.
Oh, and then we start rambling?
And then it starts getting worse.
Well, this is fun because it's been a while since we hung out because we are obviously recording over the internet.
Right.
We are not in the same space. We're not in the same city. But this is fun. This is like our hangout. I was like, we should do this more often. And you were like, what? Record podcast? I was like, no. Zoom hangout.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't do it. It was like, it became kind of standard during COVID and then everything fell off. And
yeah, we're just way too busy. During COVID, we didn't have as much to do. And I feel like we have more to do now.
We have, post-COVID, we have more to do, mainly because we have more children now.
We have more children.
That's true. That's true.
That's what happened in COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Children.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to jump into the fun fact here.
Okay, better be a good one.
It's pretty specific for this chapter.
Okay.
It's like really specific here.
Okay.
So, it's all about Verin Mathwin, and it's fan theory time.
Okay.
Or, more so like a general agreement among most fans, and we're going to talk about it. So, Spencer, I don't know if you know this yet. You might have heard of it. You might know it completely. I don't know. So, we're going to see where we landed for this one. So, we've got the traditional 7 Ajahs. We got the blue, the green, the red, yellow, white, grays, and browns.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got the notorious Black Ajah, which are the servants of the Dark One, hiding among our good guys, working toward the end goals of evil. Then we've got our lovely little Verin, who knows a little bit too much, gets a little bit too involved in things, and maybe she bends the truth a little bit, not exactly lying, but pretty close.
She certainly lies. Yep, go on.
Maybe she looks down over people who are dying and smiles while they die. That was a thing that happened.
What? When?
Who?
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, who?
A long time ago. She told a story about, like, oh, the last thing that this guy ever saw was her smiling over his dying body. Anyways.
Well, maybe it was another dark friend and she thought it was funny that he was dying.
Well, maybe she also does a little bit of garbage compulsion weaves, right?
She does do that. That was obvious. Yeah.
And maybe technically she's Black Ajah, okay?
Yeah.
She said it, we all know it. But she's been doing it for the greater good, turns out.
You know what? I don't love that saying, but go on.
Well,
I get it. I know, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about when we get there, but it's about dang time that the Force of the Light had someone hiding among the bad guys working toward the end goals of good. So, therefore, fans of the Wheel of Time have dubbed Verin as a member of the Purple Ajah.
Oh.
Which is the Ajah of Aes Sedai who are hiding among the Black Ajah working for the light.
Okay, so this list of everyone who's a Black Ajah that we get, and it is everyone. It's everyone basically we've ever met.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. And we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a possibility that some of them also might not be solely evil?
Well, I'm just saying, like, the Purple Ajah exists because we have Verin. So that's what it's been dubbed.
Only Verin.
All the other colors were taken, so purple is the only one.
What about pink?
But there's actually something really funny. I had to highlight this, and I'm going to give a timestamp so anybody who wants to go back and listen to it. So one of the funniest things that has happened in our podcasting experience, that I've waited a long time to talk about how funny I found it, just it's like a personal thing, but in Lord of Chaos, episode 624, so this was chapter 41, at the timestamp of 15 minutes and 45 seconds on our podcast, go and listen.
Yeah.
So Min sees an aura around Rand that has brown, yellow, and purple.
I know what you're saying. I remember, yeah.
And then we had a whole conversation about, oh, the Aes Sedai are going to hurt you. And I was saying, oh, it's kind of like bruising. And like Rand's going to get beat up. And this is Lord of Chaos. And you're like, bruising? What is that? How's he going to get beat up? And that's before the whole like Rand in a box thing.
Yep.
But anyways, you thought that it might have something to do with a yellow sister and the brown sister. And then I said, and the infamous Purple Ajah.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was so funny. And you didn't believe the bruising thing. But there is a Purple Ajah. And it's Verin.
It's Verin. Got it.
Okay.
It's so funny.
She's the best.
It's a callback to what you said. Not
I know.
something funny I said. I thought it was going to be like credit for me. No.
No,
credit for yourself.
You didn't get any of this right. You don't get any points for that.
I thought you were going to talk about something I said that
you
was
did
funny.
say it. You thought it was all sisters, like Sedai Ajahs, back in book 6, and you still
like,
weren't
yes,
sure of the
purple.
Ajah
And I was
colors.
like, well, maybe that exists. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dani gets a gold star for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give her a gold star for that, just not for like the whole Verin's Black Ajah, because she is, but like she's not. Okay.
Yeah, but
okay?
she is though.
Okay, but like she's not
For
though.
all intents and she's Black Ajah.
But like she's not.
Okay, so she's not inherently like an evil person,
Sure.
but she is Black Ajah.
Yeah, but I mean, like she's not technically right, exactly 100%.
Technically, actually, yes, she is.
Technically, she's Black Ajah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Sure, I hear what you're saying, Brett. I get it, and we'll get into it. But like, we don't know all of the like. Verin is here, dying, giving Egwene her life's work. Great, wonderful. But also, I'm sure there's a lot of things that Verin had to do to keep her
for the greater good. This is literally the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's done all good things. She's definitely done some evil stuff. I'm not going to say she hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, she's purple. She's purple. It was all for the greater good.
That she says now.
Yeah.
You know? This could be like a not Massima, the other guy, Ingtar.
Right.
Situation where, they were evil, and then they're like, actually, never mind, I don't want to be anymore.
Ooh, I like that too.
And then they're like, okay, but now I can't get out of it, so how can I spin this?
Right.
Like, we don't actually know Verin's whole full story at this point, because keep in mind, she can lie.
Right.
So everything that she's telling Egwene about what she's been through, although believable,
right,
we can still take it with a slight grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because I'm all for the ends justify the means sometimes. Okay, so I'm not all for it. I take it back immediately.
To an extent.
Yeah.
But the problem here is we have the ends. We don't know what the means were.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Ooh. You know what? Lawyered.
Yeah. There you go.
That's why we get a lawyer on the podcast. That's
exactly.
Boom.
Straight to no, she's dead. Okay, it's fine. Well, it's actually really funny because, like, in a lot of the conventions about Wheel of Time, Verin as an entity, there was a trial of Verin at a couple of years ago, Jordan Con, I think it was. So,
maybe something like that.
Or Spoiler Con, it was one of the ones, and I can't remember exactly.
I don't know.
Anyways,
remember that at all. Okay.
Yeah,
well, I wasn't part of it.
You weren't part of it, obviously. I would be a part of the trial of Verin.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Now that I didn't know anything about that. I'm like, good, actually.
Very specifically, made sure you didn't know anything about that.
Right.
See, you haven't finished the Wheel of Time.
I remember recently there was a trial of Elida.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, cool, Elida kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So, like, that makes sense to me, but,
yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, let's get into the actual chapter.
Shall we?
Yeah. Hash out these details. Is she not?
She is.
Well, she is.
I know, but, like, is she, though?
Yes.
It's going to be a long chapter.
Yeah. Good thing I have Spencer here.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I don't have Tyler.
2-1, okay.
I'm really glad Tyler's not here for this one, because he would just take your side, and I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so chapter 39, A Visit from Verin Sedai, and the chapter symbol is the two faces, black and white, because, Black Ajah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which Verin is.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in Egwene's perspective, picking up from where we left off last time. So Egwene had visited Siuan in Tel'aran'rhiod and got a little bit of an update on what's going on there, hopped around a little bit, and then got released from crappy prison.
Yeah.
By Katarina.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
And then a bunch of stuff is happening with the Reds and everybody and Elida and everything.
Yeah,
and
because don't forget, Elida wants to execute Sylviana right now.
Oh,
that's
right,
the thing that's happening.
Because Sylviana stood up for Egwene.
Exactly.
Right. And went against Elida. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Not that she stood up for Egwene, but went against Elida.
Yeah.
And now Egwene gets to her rooms and Verin's here.
Right.
And so we're going to pick up. So Verin has just told a straight up lie about the color of Egwene's dress.
You know what I was waiting to hear about when you talked about that? Like, maybe Verin's colorblind because green and red.
Like,
nobody
maybe
said it.
Yeah, maybe. She actually just doesn't know, and that's what she believes.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Egwene's dress is not green. And my favorite thing here is the scrambling that Egwene does to make this make sense in her brain.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't understand what's going on basically at all.
She does a wild scramble.
Yeah.
She's like, you never held the oath rod. And Verin's like, no, of course I held the oath rod. Before your grandmother was born, actually.
So wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Try
and
again.
Then Egwene's like, but then you must have had them removed somehow. And she's just like, trying to put any information she has together.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, technically, yeah, you're right.
And Verin's like, yep, but also no, not in the way you're
That's not what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, I don't trust you. I never trusted you.
And Verin's like, cool, yeah, good instinct, yep. And then she says, because after all, I am Black Ajah.
Ooh.
Spooky.
Yeah. And Egwene's like, oh no, I didn't want to become face to face with a Black Ajah. Ah.
Well, I mean, like, literally none of Egwene's plans for this whole tower thing has involved coming face to face with an actual Black Ajah sister. Like, she's fork-rooted right now.
Yeah.
She can't channel. She's got no guards, nobody to defend her. It's literally just her showing down against a Black Ajah, and she's got no context for this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I think Egwene thinks a lot about the Black Ajah, but because of what's been going on, because of herself, because of Sylviana, because of constantly thinking about taking down Elena, she is caught totally off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like this one that we know, like, she knows her.
Mm-hmm. And she knows in the background there's this, like, Black Ajah detective agency,
right?
And that they're like sort of doing something over here, but she's like, good for you guys, go catch them, I have a job to do, right? I'm the Amyrlin, and right, so she's like not even thinking that could interfere at all with her,
right? She used to be the Black Ajah hunter, but she's kind of relinquished that and passed it on.
Yes, that's true. On a sabbatical from the detective agency.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Now, all the while, Verin is sipping some tea, and we get these little side comments from Egwene in her brain about how the tea smells not like she's used to smelling, and all these things.
There's lots of references to the tea, like when she first showed up, too.
Yeah.
And Laris made it. It's like, make sure you thank her.
Is good at tea, and it hasn't spoiled, and all this stuff.
Well, Laris is not a dark friend.
Yeah.
Exactly. At one point, Verin says, you wouldn't want this tea.
It's like, but why? Why don't I want that tea?
Yeah, and then I was like, huh? What? What about the tea?
Yeah, so's Egwene.
So Egwene kind of cuts to the chase at this point and says to Verin, what are you going to do with me? And she thinks to herself, because if Verin wanted to kill her, she'd be dead already. And then Egwene goes through like a bunch of scenarios of like what could happen here.
Yeah, and like what she could do is like, oh, could I try to yell out? But no, then Verin would just like wrap me up. And if a novice tries to come and see what's going on,
Verin will kill her.
Oh, it's like, so a lot of scenarios playing out, and there's nothing good to do except sit down.
Yeah, she's the one who asked the Reds to fork root her. That's the reason she can't channel and really fight back. So she's made her bed.
She's like, big mistake.
Huge. But it's like you also had to.
Right.
Like, that's not really an option of not being fork rooted. So
yeah, and then later it's really a huge mistake. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe
there's hours have passed at that point. We'll see.
Okay, so now at this point, Verin starts to ramble in her typical Verin manner. And she compliments Egwene on all she's done in the tower, and how her research kept her more focused on Rand. And then she rambles even more about how Rand doesn't even know how the Great Lord works, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, of course he doesn't. He hasn't, met him like you have, probably. Like...
Well, I mean, this is the cool part, because there's a lot of really interesting philosophy in this chapter with Verin, like, just trying to figure out how things work, because she talks about the Forsaken, or the Chosen, and I do love that she's calling them by the, like, Black Ajah names, and then she's
she also says the Great Lord, which is the
Dark one.
Black Ajah way.
She's
been
playing...
They say Great Lord?
Yeah.
She's been playing this role for a while. She had to get used to the lingo.
Absolutely. So even referring to them as a Chosen, but the whole thing is that she has kind of come to this determination that she knows and understands what the Chosen want, and she knows that they want power over each other. They're like a bunch of squabbling children trying to get their daddy's attention.
But it's kind of like what the Grey Lord wants them to be doing.
Yeah, and they're not necessarily like smarter or more skilled or crafty than anybody else. Like, they are comparable to this day and age, but back in the day, there were also a lot more Forsaken. There was a lot more Chosen, too. These are just the 13 that got trapped and are still here. Right. So you have to recall that.
Okay.
But these are the ones who are also the most selfish. And that's kind of what she's determined, is that you become chosen by being the most selfish, because that makes you predictable, because you're always going to do what's the most selfish thing to advance yourself.
Yeah.
And the dark one likes that.
He likes
predictable tool.
Yeah, fair. And yeah, she rambles for a long time.
Yeah.
And then she gets upset with herself for getting off track, and she's like, there's no time.
Yeah, because
why?
Yeah. And now she goes back to complimenting Egwene on all of her success here in the tower. She's like, I'm so surprised. I thought you were just going to be hanging out with your little rebel friends by the time I got here. But no, here you are.
Yeah.
You've infiltrated the tower, kind of by accident, but then made the best situation.
Yeah. All of Verin's associates
Quote, associates.
Not happy with what's going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Egwene's essentially, at this point, torn the Red Ajah in half. Right? Like, it's very impressive.
It's pretty good.
Well, a lot of she's turned so many of the sitters against Elida.
Yeah.
Just in what she's been doing.
Yeah, I mean, and we got to talk about that when we get kind of more details here, too, about how that's going. Which I got to say, it's not actually as good as we maybe were hoping. Because you made some predictions last episode about, like, what's going to happen to Elida.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where we're going to land on that one.
I'm surprised. I really thought that this was going to be more about the Egwene-Elida showdown. I thought maybe that would wrap up. But no. Twists and turns all over the place.
Yeah.
I did not see any of this really coming.
Deal with Verin first here.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get into the important part of what Verin has to say, because there's some things you gotta know. So I love this little backstory. So first off, a number of years ago, Verin found herself in a position where she could either take the oath to the Dark One, or she could reveal that she never actually wanted to be in the situation, or intended to join the Black Ajah, and that would have gotten her executed. So she was like, hey, this is an opportunity to study the beast from the inside. And I love this because this is like so quintessential Brown Ajah. Like you join an evil organization and then you happen to want to study it from the inside. Now you're like, book learning opportunity.
Yeah, and I want to know the backstory that got her into this situation. Was she trying to study the Black Ajah and
like
kind
maybe,
of got caught?
And then accidentally stumbled into a group meeting or something, and it's like, whoops.
I actually really wanted to be here.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable. What I really like about this particular thing that Verin says is that, so she's telling Egwene the story, and then Egwene says, so you joined to study them? And Verin's so honest, she's like, no, I joined to save my skin. Studying them was a perk.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't want to die. I actually really, in fact, like living.
Yeah, I didn't want to die at all.
Yeah. And then we get a little bit of a situation about Thomas, which is her warder, which is also very interesting because apparently he was already a dark friend.
Yeah.
But
before she bonded him.
Exactly. Yeah. But like looking for a way out, and then you can't really get out once you're part of the club. And then Verin offered him an opportunity to kind of fight back in the way that they could together, which is like it's so beautiful. I love it so much.
I mean,
it's just the best combination.
I wouldn't say beautiful, but
yeah, I also wouldn't say beautiful.
It's beautiful and romantic and lovely. Okay.
They're still doing a bunch of evil stuff though.
But for the greater good.
Okay.
And like Thomas for sure did evil stuff before, and then doesn't want to anymore.
Yeah. And like same with Ingtar, but then Ingtar just sacrificed himself so Ran could live.
Exactly.
That's different than this.
But that doesn't seem exactly what Verin and Thomas did.
But how many things do they have to do to keep their cover? That's the real question.
Yeah.
And here's the real argument:
how much information
was it worth it?
Exactly.
How much information does Verin have to pass on?
Exactly.
Because of some of the bad things she did.
Was it worth it? How? Yeah. I understand, but
we don't know yet.
Exactly. We don't know.
Well, here's the issue is that if I got handed these invisible books, it's like, oh no, where did I leave them?
Not invisible books, disappearing books.
Disappearing.
Sometimes invisible.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Okay,
it's like
you're jumping way
I
ahead.
know. Oh my goodness. Okay.
You guys get each other way off track. Look at me keeping us on track.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Who knows?
Okay, let's back it up then. You go.
So now Verin does start talking about the oaths that you have to take to become a dark friend.
Yeah.
The oaths you make to the Great Lord. And they're very specific and very binding, especially when you're someone who can channel.
Yeah, I mean, Aes Sedai love their specific oaths, right? We love
Aes
loopholes.
Sedai love that, yeah.
Apparently the Dark One does
too. Does too.
Yeah.
I'm referring to him as the Great Lord from now on.
Yeah, just the Great Lord.
Sure.
That's all. Now, apparently, you are totally allowed to double-cross other dark friends.
Oh, easy peasy. No
who
problem.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Nobody. Not even the Grey Lord. Doesn't even care about those guys.
Yeah.
You can turn against the Chosen.
If you can justify it.
Because selfishness above all.
Exactly.
And the only thing that really matters is you can never betray the Dark One.
Yeah, the Great Lord.
The Great Lord.
Exactly.
He who must not be named.
Oh.
Yes, baby.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
He is the Great Lord. His name is Voldemort.
Right.
He who must not be named. Spencer did it.
Yeah.
Are you prepared over there with a shot?
No.
Well, you made the reference and you're not even prepared.
Okay.
You know what? It just came to me, and I hadn't heard a reference in a while, and I had to.
You know what? We have a lot of things to celebrate.
That's true. We can do that.
Let's take a shot. This is actually a pretty good spot to take a break. Let's finish up just talking quickly about these oaths.
Okay.
And then we'll go get a shot.
Yeah.
So Verin tells us specifically that the oath she has to take is, I swear not to betray the Great Lord, to keep my secrets until the hour of my death.
Right.
And then Egwene realizes what's happening, and she looks at Verin's cup of tea and is like, poison!
Yeah.
She's killing herself.
Yeah.
Now Verin keeps talking and is like, it's super weird, this loophole. Like, why is it allowed?
Does he even know it's there?
Does
like,
he
I
even
don't know.
really know? And Egwene is like, well, maybe he knows it's there, but he doesn't think that anybody who's going to take this oath is willing to kill themselves to share their secrets.
Like, that's kind of the opposite point of becoming a dark friend in the first place. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Nobody expects freaking Verin coming out of the woodwork.
And what Verin has just described is that one of the prerequisites to becoming one of the chosen is selfishness. And so no one would sacrifice, no one who he would value would sacrifice their own life, because that's inherently altruistic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How much damage could they really do?
But then that's like Ingtar, who was able to share his secrets in the hour of his death.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
But I mean, also consider the fact that he wasn't a channeler specifically, so we don't necessarily know if the channelers how binding, how different is it, you know?
It's still an oath that they probably take pretty seriously.
Yeah. We do get that there's like a little bit extra involved in this whole like...
But with the channel, especially with the Sedai.
Yeah.
Because they already have oaths that have to be released.
Right.
So that they can take new ones.
So it's like, are you taking these oaths on the oath rod to the Dark One also? There's a whole bunch of questions. Because Aes Sedai would have to re-swear oaths on the oath rod because you would need the Ageless Face still. You can't just take away all the oaths.
Ooh, good questions.
Yeah.
These are good questions.
Yeah, anyways.
Or unless the new rod you swear on also
what if there's a different one?
Like when you...
Well, we know that there's different oath rods.
But that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What if they just use a different dark friendly one?
Well, also, they know where the oath rod is in the tower.
That's true, and they're super sneaky and evil.
Apparently it's super easy to get, because like anybody can just take it whenever.
Anyone can just wander in and get it.
Yeah. It's not really guarded.
And turns out, if you're evil and don't care about the rules, you just do whatever you want.
Oh my goodness.
Turns out.
Yeah.
Also, could Verin have like checked if the oath rod was there on like 2 separate times, or she's like, oh, not here.
Oh, just the one time.
Poison.
Just the one time.
Yeah.
She checked.
It wasn't there. She's like, that's it. Poison for me.
But also, to break the whole, like, in the hour of my death, you have to be legitimately, like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's.
But she didn't necessarily want to do that.
Yeah.
She wanted to break her oath to the Dark One.
She wanted to see if she could. She wasn't convinced that it would work even.
But she went to check to see if the oath rod was there.
Yeah.
She's clearly just showed up. Egwene notes her muddy boots.
Yeah.
Couldn't she have waited 12 hours? That's whatever.
Could have waited, checked again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because she didn't necessarily even want to die, but she wanted to share this information.
Right.
Yeah.
No time.
Apparently.
Yeah. There's something else going on.
Apparently. Time.
She has to make her way to the fireworks factory.
Yeah. Oh, and Thomas is also unaliving himself.
Yes.
At this point.
Yeah. He's spending his last hour with his family. Okay.
And they've already said their goodbyes.
Okay. Now it's time for a shot.
Okay.
Can't delay it any longer.
Okay, I will not. Okay, so we're back. Shots, except we have to make fun of Spencer once again.
Right.
Who is shooting bay leaves.
Love it.
I don't have a lot at my house, and I
shoot your bay leaves and chase it with your wine. That's not gross at all.
Milk was a bad choice.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers to 5 years.
Cheers to 5 years. Cheers to your house.
Okay.
Cheers. Mine is like a double shot glass, and I poured it really full because it was just Bailey's.
Sure. Okay.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
All right. We're like a third of the way through this thing here,
we can do it. Let's go. All right. So now it's time to get to the real purpose of this meeting.
Good stuff.
So Verin pulls out 2 leather-bound books. One is large and one is small, and she hands them to Egwene.
Yeah.
And then she explains about the Browns' mission of their Browns' life.
Yeah, you got to produce something that's going to last, some sort of research that's meaningful.
Yeah.
And the small book is the key to the big one.
Yeah.
And this is the work of her entire life. It's meaningful, okay?
No, it is. I actually do think that this is pretty meaningful.
Yeah.
I think that it's just like a happy coincidence that she was also able to study after she was like, okay, this isn't all it cracked up to be being a Black Ajah. That's my sense of this.
That's what you're feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think that this is what you would do if you had to be evil for
Right.
some reason.
Who's to say I'm not some part of a evil organization?
Evil, and you're
something,
infiltrating
something
it.
exactly. My life could be
undercover.
Yes.
Okay.
My life could be exciting.
I have a question for Brett, because I feel like I read a lot of fantasy, and every time I do, I skim over this word, and I understand it's some sort of book, and I was hoping maybe the fun fact would, what is a tome? Is that what we call it?
Oh, a tome.
It's like a big book.
That's it.
A tome. No. I looked it up recently because I'm reading Fourth Wing.
It's just a big old book.
Well, yeah,
And
it comes up
big
in
old book
Fourth
of
Wing, it
knowledge.
comes up in Akatar, it comes up a lot. Someone needs to explain this to me.
Okay. I just looked it up. A tome, Tome, a book, especially a large, heavy, scholarly one.
Big old book. I said
Okay.
that. That's what I
A
said.
scholarly big book.
Yeah, it's a big old book.
That's not
That's
helpful.
it. That's
Okay,
all it is.
great. Thanks.
That's it. That's all it is.
Big old book of information.
Yeah, because it feels like it should be like, I don't know, something more specific than that.
It does.
I'm kind of offended that you didn't believe me when I said that.
I had to look it up.
Okay.
Well, because you said it like big old book.
It's a big old book. That's literally what it is. It could even be a big old dusty book.
Well, it could happen to be dusty.
Yeah, full of learning and knowledge and stuff.
Dusty's just an adjective, though, at this point. Like, I don't know.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so back to it. Egwene's like,
Okay.
what's this? And she thinks she knows, but does she really? And then
No.
Verin's like, it's everything. It's everything. It's everything.
It's my life's work written in a very, very, very complicated code.
Very secret, so I
I've-
don't get murdered ahead of time.
Yeah, come up with my own complete language, and this little book is the cipher
Yeah.
to break the code
Yeah.
of the big book.
Did you ever make ciphers
No.
as a
Yes.
kid?
No,
Fun?
because
Yeah.
I had friends and I played sports. So
Excuse you.
I know. So rude. So rude right now.
no.
I had my own language that I could write. Yeah.
I would make my own
Still?
my spinny wheel cipher.
No.
You can make a spinny wheel cipher. Yeah.
No.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You do like the alphabet on the outside and whatever code you want on the inside, you spin it, you turn it a number of dials.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
No, I just had a legend for the alphabet, and every letter had a symbol, and I just wrote notes in that.
You guys were smarter than I was growing up, for sure. I just my brain didn't quite work that way. I think. I bet my brother had one.
I'm sure that's true.
Yeah. Maybe.
All right, so back to it. So this this big old book, it's got names, locations, explanations, everything Verin could learn about the Black Ajah, leaders, prophecies, goals, motivations, and every Black Ajah sister that she could identify.
Nice.
She probably didn't catch all of them. It's not
Which
like
is-
it's not Pokemon here. She's
which-
not Ash Ketchum.
Oh,
Right.
You gotta catch them all.
But she got a lot of them. Okay? She did a good job.
Which is concerning that she didn't get all of them, and later we'll talk about why that's significantly.
Because there's so fucking many.
I'm gonna need statistics. I
Okay.
hope that you have some statistics for me, Brett.
Sure.
Later.
I have numbers.
Yeah, that's
That's what stats are.
Stats
Good.
are just
Oh,
literally
good.
numbers.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what we're gonna need.
All right.
Okay. Now, Egwene starts getting a little emotional at all of this. She is just going through it emotionally.
Yeah.
Like, she thought Verin was gonna murder her, and then she's like, oh my god, you're such a lovely human for doing all of this, and it's like back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
And Verin is like, listen, don't start that now. They have so many agents among us. I thought it was time that we at least had one among them.
Purple.
Few people have had a chance to create something as useful as this.
Right.
And then Verin shows Egwene how to use the fancy terangrial bookmarks
Yeah.
that make them go
Poof.
disappeared.
Exactly. I love it. And they don't. Okay, so for the record, the invisible bookmark dangly guys that you twist around and
Yep.
only work on books apparently.
Only on books.
Yeah.
Too bad.
And it's like, this is really cool. And Egwene's looking at this book and
Tome.
thinking, the
Mhm.
tome. And she's like, oh my goodness, this is such a great treasure. Like, equally as important as, like, the Horn of Valir.
Mhm.
Equivalent. And you got to think about, like, how impactful this is. And also, if Big F if you can capitalize on using it properly.
Right.
And we're going to have to talk about that maybe a little bit later when Egwene's trying to brainstorm
Yeah.
on how to capitalize on this book.
Yep.
He's like, number one, don't just lose it. Don't forget where you put the invisible book.
Right.
I would do that 100%. It's gone. It's gone now.
I would put it somewhere really special so that I don't lose it.
But sometimes
forget that. You forget that.
You forget
place.
where you put it.
Like, this is really special. I for sure won't forget. And then
how could I forget where I put it?
Yeah. And you're like, oh my god, I remember that I wanted to put it somewhere so that I would remember.
Yeah.
And I haven't remembered.
Shoot.
Oh no. The problem is I haven't remembered what I've forgotten.
Oh no.
Oh no, I almost did it again.
It's a remember all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I. That's the quote. That's Neville.
Oh no.
That's
Is
Neville.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like an actual Harry Potter.
Remember all because
Oh.
it tells you when you've forgotten something, but then he's like, the problem is I can't remember what I've forgotten.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a useless tool.
It
Oh,
turns
serious?
red when you've forgotten something.
Oh, good. That's useful.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, we can't not. Okay. Okay.
We need a remember all to remember where we put the invisible books.
Yeah. Okay, pass me your shot glass.
And I bet there's a Harry Potter spell to make books invisible.
probably. Okay, I'll go get some more Baileys. I'll be back.
Yeah, you gotta go get more Baileys, I guess. Okay, fine. Don't forget what your remember all has told you've forgotten.
Yeah. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To, shoot.
Oh, you forgot? Did you forget what you're gonna choose?
I liked that.
Okay, do we want to talk about
I
the,
punched the microphone.
yeah.
Oops.
Okay, let's talk real quick about the poison.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't. Oh, I tried to talk too soon.
Okay, you don't talk, I'll talk.
Yeah. Okay.
So the poison that Verin used for the tea is asping rot. So pulled up the 13th depository. They got a little bit of fun information for real world inspiration.
Being rot.
Yeah, so the asping part alludes to the asp, which is the venomous snake, said to be used in ancient Egypt for executing criminals.
Ooh.
And then the rot part implies fungal poison, because many fungi certainly are poisonous.
Certainly.
There you go, certainly. Okay, boom. Yeah,
What?
that's a pretty
What's
direct
that face
comparison.
for?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's what I got for
Good.
this one.
It's poison.
Yeah, that's like a more one-to-one.
Yeah, and
It's like, yeah,
Egwene
poison.
remembers Nynaeve telling her about this
Type
poison.
of poison.
Exactly.
Don't drink it. It
Yeah.
basically is the key.
That'll kill you.
It'll kill you.
Within an hour. She remembers that.
Within an hour.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess depends on how much you
Yeah.
take,
The
right? That's
drop.
gonna be
Because so
important.
Right? That's-
Erin's gonna keep talking, and she's starting to look a little pale, and she tells Egwene that the poison was a backup plan. Oh, and we already sort of talked about this
Yeah.
completely. So she had planned to get the oath rod, she couldn't find it the one time she looked, so now she's just drinking poison.
I mean, this is really important too, because she's like, hey, there was a bunch of stuff I was hoping to still do. However, I've set a lot of plans in motion just in case. Now, what is
including Matt,
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
the
because
Matt plan.
this is the big thing. She had a stack of letters. She gave one to Matt. She gave him terms and conditions.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, Matt's not going to open it. So
Yeah,
now knowing
And
what we
also,
know.
by the by,
Yeah.
this is how she got those pictures.
Yeah.
'Cause she's the dark friend.
Oh, they thought I was a dark friend.
Gold star.
She was.
Yeah.
Is.
Is.
Was?
She is.
Was.
She is
She's
not
dead.
not yet.
Oh, right.
Not technically not yet.
Oh, right.
No, she's still alive.
But you were
Anyways,
right. Our dark friend was distributing those pictures.
Yeah,
It's
that's
true.
right.
I got a question for you. With the letter that she gave Matt, do you now want Matt to open it?
Yes.
You want it, but will he?
Yes.
You
I already predicted that.
I think you said he's not going to open it. I'm
No,
pretty
I said
sure
he will.
No, she said he was.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a memory because you flip flop so much on that one.
No,
He's opening it.
You
that
said-
one he for sure.
Matt's not
Perfect.
patient. He wasn't going to wait.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it'll be like his Taviran will
Yeah.
that he
Okay,
needs
good.
to open something,
Okay.
you know?
What kind of important message?
I thought I thought it had to do with Moraine.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might be wrong about that.
Okay.
But now only sort of wrong because I'm thinking about if Verin was Black Ajah when she found out about the Moraine and Swan plan, because that was
Sure.
Verin, right? Verin was there. She
Yeah.
was the third one to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that how long ago did she turn
Right.
Black Ajah to get all of this information? Might have been longer than 20 years.
Sure. She could be like warning him maybe because like she's spilling a lot of beans right now.
I
on
don't
a whole
know
lot of
how
things.
much she's warning, but I think that she maybe has some Moraine
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, and
I just want
Yeah.
I just want Matt to go find Maureen.
Really trying to shoehorn
so that's
that
what
whole...
I kind of want.
Yeah.
And I wonder, here's what I wonder, hypothetically, that, like, does the letter portray some secrets that she can't tell to Matt until the hour of her death, so she needs to put a time on it to make sure she's either dead or removed.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Right.
Yeah. To fall in lines with the terms and conditions.
Yeah, because she said, I don't even remember, a certain amount of days.
Yeah.
And if I don't return, then this day. And
Yeah.
if I do, then this day.
She's like, oh, actually, don't open it up in case I take longer than I expected.
She's making sure she will not betray her oath to the Great Lord, essentially.
Right. Got to play by the rules. Oh, and now there's that one other really big piece of information that Verin has for Egwene. Missana is in the tower!
But unfortunately, we don't know who it is.
No closer!
We're literally no closer.
What was it? The bronze sparklies on her
dress or
something.
There was a bronze thread in her skirt.
Yeah.
At one point.
Right.
That was Alviarin who witnessed some bronze flecks or something.
Did you for a moment think, ooh, Missana reveal?
No.
Missana's in the tower and she's...
And I met her twice. Yeah. And she was shrouded both
I don't know.
times. I don't know who she is.
It's good that Egwene knows now, though. Like that
Missana is in the tower.
Yeah, like, that's good to know.
Yeah, because we knew.
We knew that.
Yeah.
But I like when our characters get caught up with what we know. Because it's so challenging as a reader to, like, read your characters that you love be ignorant to something.
Right.
That's really challenging. And that's where a lot of our stuff comes in. Because, especially when we're being so hard on Gawain, because we don't like our characters to be flawed.
Yeah.
And but people inherently are flawed. We've had this conversation lots of times.
Yeah.
And so we're so triggered by Gawain because everybody knows a flippin' Gawain in their life, and
I too make bad decisions, and you're like, how could you make this bad decision? It's like, it's really easy to make bad decisions.
Yeah, or to not make any decisions.
Yeah.
Super indecisive. There's lots of people like that. Yeah. And if you have them in your life, they can drive you crazy.
Why are you looking directly at me while you're saying this?
I'm just saying, it's really hard as a reader to have your characters not know what's going on or be flawed in any way. And so to have Egwene have this information feels like a huge win.
It is good. It is good. Now we get a little bit more information that I do want to highlight here, because Verin talks about when Siuan gave her orders to give Egwene information to help her hunt the Black Ajah sisters in the tower. When she when she was part of the original Black Hunter. Yeah, the OG.
Ajah Hunter Detective Agency.
Right?
They founded it, actually.
Yeah. So apparently this really frustrated the Black Ajah leadership.
Okay, no, Spencer was going to say and correct. We're not listening to you anymore.
You should be. Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We're listening, Brett.
Okay. So Verin had orders from Siuan to help Egwene hunt for the Black Ajah. So Verin had to do that because it's Amyrlin orders, but also Black Ajah doesn't want any Black Ajah hunters to be doing that, hunting the Black Ajah.
Yes.
And then Verin says, oh, I wasn't supposed to give you that dream terangrial.
But I did anyway because of your ambition.
I had a feeling. So that was a big move by Verin, introducing her to flying around, Tanchico or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and really running with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like getting all the training from the wise ones and really just being...
Go Verin.
Yeah, because where would Egwene be if Verin hadn't given her that dream terangrial?
She wouldn't be in the dream world.
Wouldn't have gone to the Aiel, probably wouldn't have been Amyrlin of the Rebel Aes Sedai.
Ooh. Mm-hmm,
all right, go Verin. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Almost like it's part of the pattern.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
That's true.
Anyway, so it's basically time for Verin to die, and that's kind of sad because I want more information.
Sure.
And
but we got a tone.
Egwene is feeling like sad. So in her last moments, Verin is saying, I may be black, but my soul and my heart is brown. Please make sure that the other Browns know, because obviously they're going to find out that I was a Black Ajah because of everything I'm sharing with you, and it's going to come out at some point. And so I want everybody to know that I'm still a Brown in my soul. And Egwene says, no, your soul is pure white like the light.
Yes.
Or something like that, right?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. It's good. Yeah. It's pretty sweet, right? And then she closes her eyes. She doesn't die just yet.
Well, she lays down in Egwene's bed to die.
Yeah.
I find the whole thing,
Wait,
my
don't
first
like it?
read through, I was like, aw. And then
Spencer.
And then no. In this moment, reading it,
sure,
without knowing what was going to happen for the rest of this chapter,
Sure.
it was like, ah, that's kind of nice. And then Verin's corpse continues to lay there.
Well, what else would it do?
And that makes things worse. And then she, like, manipulates it. Like, it makes it worse. So, like, I get Spencer's feeling on this because, you know, when you know the entire thing that happens with Verin's body, you're like, oh, this was weird. But in the moment...
What is Verin supposed to do? This was her final... I feel like you guys are undercutting what Verin has just accomplished with her entire life.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to assume that she didn't expect the tea to work as quickly as it did, and maybe she was planning on retiring to her own bed, but then it went really quick and she just lay down where she was.
And here's my thing. I just find the whole thing a little... I'm not sure what. I think if
little...
Yes, that's exactly what it is for me. It's like if Verin had been like, I'm a brown through and through, and then Egwene would have said, yes, Verin, you're a brown. That would have been okay. But instead, Egwene says, you are white. And like, not like White Ajah, like, you are light. Like, Egwene, you don't know what she did. Like, yes, this is wonderful. What she's provided you is wonderful. It's a life's work. It's wonderful. That's very helpful to you. But you don't know what it took to get here, so you can't say white.
No, exactly.
You can say good, studied, brown. Sure.
Yeah.
Spencer, she's the Amerlin. She can say whatever she wants.
Oh, well, we all know Egwene is going to say whatever she wants whenever she wants. And I think that to that point... it just really emphasizes Egwene's immaturity and not quite understanding worldviews and living hundreds of years. Egwene has lived, 20 years maybe at this point?
Yeah.
Like, so this is her take on the situation.
And I think, and this might be controversial, but I think a lot of this book and a lot of this writing falls into the ends justify the means. And I think in some circumstances, certainly it does. But not in all circumstances, and we have to know the facts before we can make statements like that. We have to know the facts.
Sure. 20 years old.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, technically, she's
and
probably...
power has gone right to her head.
Yes. She's like 18 and a half, 19.
And the power has gone to her head before she even had power.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Egwene, right? It's just the person that she is, and so that's just what we have to accept.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting, just entire argument about Verin as a person. Like, do the ends, even if you don't know the means... does it still justify to get this book of knowledge of the entire corrupt, literal evil organization?
And just, like, make someone's passing, kind of nice.
Does it make it worthwhile? Whoever she had to kill, whatever had to happen, is it worthwhile?
Probably.
I guess, I mean, maybe where I want to give Egwene credit is that, like, maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's just about giving Verin this before she dies.
Sure, that's true too.
And that would be very kind and compassionate and wonderful.
I mean, can you honestly say that in a moment of high emotion, you didn't, like, say some things that later on, when you were more rational brain, you were like, huh, that was weird I said that.
I could have dialed that back a bit.
Because I for sure can think back on several distinct moments in my life where I'm like, that wasn't rational. I
think like a couple of times today. I could have handled that better.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I could have.
Yeah. So, I get your point. We're good.
Okay, we're all good. Anyways, moments later, Verin actually dies.
She does.
Yeah, and
she
it's like...
does do that.
Don't, Grandma, don't die in the... Just
in
go
my
to your,
bed.
Go to your own bed.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
Okay, but also, I love that Egwene has to, like, double check the pulse, put the saucer under her nose to make sure it isn't like a fake out.
I like the very specific, this feels crass, this feels weird, but I have to do it.
Just in case it's a weird play, like, what's the...
Well, and she might be rendered unconscious, but I gotta make sure she's actually not breathing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got the Red Ajah sister poking her head in to see now Verin sleeping in
Quote.
Yeah,
and
Egwene's like,
happen.
Shh, she's sleeping. Don't.
She had a long journey, and then this red sister who comes in to check on Egwene, and Egwene's like, "Oh, finally they've assigned someone to me. They've realized I've been unguarded now."
Yeah.
And she refers to this Aes Sedai as young sister. This young sister. A lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I didn't notice that.
1,000% older than you are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
basically has to be.
Has to be.
Be an Aes Sedai, you have to be, yeah.
Has to be significantly older.
Yeah.
But a young Aes Sedai.
Right.
Right? And she says to Egwene, and you're just a stupid novice, so you make sure that Verin Sedai gets whatever she needs. Don't you disrupt her.
Yeah, don't question decisions that I make, even if it's lying down in your bed to go to sleep.
Yeah, because Egwene was like, wish she chose her own bed to rest in.
Yeah.
Am I right? Like,
yeah.
Actually, kind of. And Egwene was like, and it's not even a lie. I do wish that.
Yeah, I don't want you here.
And, side note, Egwene has a thought that she wishes she could take the oaths already.
Yeah, so she doesn't have to, like, force herself to not lie.
Tell the truth.
Yeah. Okay, well, now we have some time.
Yeah, so I think this is another good time for a super quick break.
Sure, and then we can get into stats, because
You know
Egwene's going
what?
to start reading the book.
I do want some stats, so
Okay.
that'll be great.
Me too.
Okay, quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back and we are ready for some numbers because Egwene has some time and she decides to just like pull out the cipher book and start figuring out what's in this big book of
Big tome.
Black Ajah.
Yeah, the big book of Black Ajah sisters.
Yeah.
Big book of bad sisters.
Sure. Yeah. So Egwene's first task is to dig into the names of the Black Ajah sisters.
Yeah.
But okay, hold on. I just had a thought for a second. Because Verin specifically said this book is like my life's work.
Yeah.
Now, is this book solely Black Ajah and Darkfriend related? Or does it also have Rand stuff and Matt stuff and Perrin stuff? Because wasn't Verin with Perrin and Matt for a while?
But she talks about having, like, the dark prophecies. So I'm wondering if she's comparing the dark prophecies to the light prophecies and seeing what they've done. Like, I imagine it's kind of that stuff.
I would feel there's probably like some
It's
appendices where it's like relevant but adjacent material to and how it relates to the dark one,
Right.
etc., etc.
Because Egwene's first task is basically to flip to the back.
Yeah, well, yeah.
She says.
It's like the list, it's like, where are the names?
List of
Yeah.
names,
Yeah.
because that's the first thing she do. She thinks about maybe memorizing the cipher
Mhm.
to destroy that.
And then she's like, no, can't.
And then she looks at it and is like, wow, this is complex. This is stupid.
Yeah.
And so she's like, no, I have to do this now, because probably what's going to happen is people are going to discover Verin's dead by the morning.
Yeah.
And I need to have information by the morning, because at some point, these books are going to disappear from my possession.
Ooh, you think?
No, that's what Egwene thinks.
Okay.
She thinks that.
Do
She's
you
like,
think
it's
that?
almost a definite
Yeah.
at some point, these books won't be mine anymore.
Yeah. So you got to know who to trust, who you can't trust, who you can trust.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So first off on the list, we get the ones we know and the big ones.
Okay, so I wrote them down.
Okay.
Now,
Let's do the big ones first.
okay, because Egwene thinks that the next few hours are pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
And shocking.
Yeah, and that's why I said just like for a time scale of where we started versus where we are.
Yeah.
So like she has this whole conversation with Verin, and then she has several hours in the room to do this studying.
To just basically read lists of names.
Yeah.
Or cipher, like, because she got to do the cipher.
She has to figure out the cipher. Yeah,
figure it out,
exactly.
right? So it's puzzle time.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Now, my whole point of this, I read this first. I read it before I listened on audiobook, and as I was reading, I thought to myself, I'm gonna need my notebook of all the Aes Sedai names back from like Winter's Heart, because some of these names are familiar, some of them aren't. Do I know all these people? Do I not?
Yeah.
And also, holy shit, this is everyone. Is everyone just a Black Ajah?
Yeah.
It feels like everyone.
Before we get started, I just want to do a little callback here, because way back when the initial 13 Black Ajah sisters left the tower.
Yeah, we're like, oh my god, 13!
Yeah. And I was like, hey, Dani, is that all of them? And you were like, I think so.
No.
Yeah.
I did?
At the time, we were like, it's probably,
that's
probably all of
it.
them.
They all need to escape now.
Yeah, it's like, that's, we got them. We got them. We did it.
Okay, so no, it's more than 200.
Uh-huh.
And
so here's
if
the thing.
my memory serves me,
sure,
there's significantly more Black Ajah than there are not. Or is that wrong?
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
There's about 1,000 Aes Sedai in the tower. Completely in the world, there's about 1,000 Aes Sedai.
Okay.
Verin's counted 203, in the book, and I would have to assume that she would include herself in the stats because, like,
Yeah, because she's Verin.
obviously you would, right? I think you would
Maybe.
have to.
Maybe.
I don't know. So 203. So like roughly 20%.
Maybe
now
she wrote specifically excluding myself.
Excluding
That's
myself.
What
It's
she
like,
would write.
why
She'd
would
write a footnote?
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
And she couldn't have gotten every single one of them. So you got to look at the margin of error.
So here's my question, because if she doesn't get all of them, now I don't know how many dark friends exist in the real world, but 20% seems high in Aes Sedai. So I have to wonder, with Aes Sedai, to become an Aes Sedai, for a lot of people, is there a certain level of selfishness? Is that why the numbers...
or attraction to power, and does power attract power?
Right,
yeah.
And is that the reason why in the Aes Sedai specifically, we're at a 1 in 5 sort of ratio? Because
maybe, and then we also have to be very concerned about the Black Tower if that's the case.
Right, exactly.
That's okay. So so we're looking at 20% on a low end of all Aes Sedai being
attraction
Black Ajah.
to power.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at about a 20%, like a 1/5 situation.
We're on a 1/5 as the ones that Verin caught. Which isn't all of them. It couldn't possibly be every single one.
No.
So over 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know about you, Danny, but when I started this series, I always assumed like the Black Ajah would have a similar number of members as any of the certain color Ajahs. And this is more than that. Like, I thought...
Yeah, okay, so I did write the numbers down.
Well, but also consider, just like on that whole 20% thing, that's 1 in 5. And if you think of the people that you work with on your job, I can say that 1 in 5 people is definitely evil. Like, I can see that. That's not a crazy 1 in 5.
No.
Easy.
No.
Easy.
I only work with great people.
We all don't work in insurance.
Hey now.
I think that certain professions have a higher... It's kind of like the Ajahs that I'm about to get into. Certain Ajahs and certain professions will attract more evil people than others.
Fair enough. Okay.
Perhaps. I think if you work in criminal defense, probably accurate.
Yeah, all right. Ooh, I like it.
I'm going to say teacher, less so.
Of course you would. Okay. Give me the numbers.
Okay. 21 blue, 28 brown, 30 gray, 38 green, 17 white, because it's not quite logical.
Sure.
You know, unless it is extremely logical. So I could see that's why they have the least.
Well, also keep in mind the white Ajah is the smallest Ajah.
Also, it's not logical, so...
Okay, but also the smallest.
Okay.
The red is the largest Ajah. So.
Oh, so this is all relative.
Maybe.
Okay, 21 yellow and 48 red.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
Yeah.
Now, it's cute how Robert Jordan / Brandon Sanderson starts us off. Super cute. Because he starts revealing Black Ajahs that we already know.
Yes, so we're getting
before he
Egwene
starts
caught
revealing ones that we as the reader don't know. Quite strategically, and I actually really enjoyed that piece of writing. Like, I really thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So we have Katarina, who's
obvious.
Super obvious to us.
Yep.
We have Alviarn, super obvious. Galena, Elza, who's kaput at this point, and Sheriam, who we most recently found out about,
and Leandrin.
Yeah.
We all know. We get
those
we
are
get those
like ones that were like, okay, we got it.
Yeah, and then there's like a whole bunch of like, especially with the whole Sheriam thing. She's like, oh my god, Sheriam. Oh no.
Oh my god,
Sheriam.
She's my keeper.
And also, she was the mistress of novices. I'm like, oh no. And I always have to remind everybody, it's gonna get worse before it gets worse.
Right. Okay. So now we have a whole new list to look at.
Yeah, I've got so we've got notable names.
Okay.
And we've got people we don't know anything about.
Okay.
And then people who are not on the list specifically.
Okay. Yeah, so can I go through this list?
Yeah, tell me what you know.
I'm going to go through the ones that I think we know.
Do it.
And then you can tell me if I've missed someone.
Sure.
Is that good?
Yep.
Spence, you on board?
Yeah.
I'm going to test Spencer's knowledge here.
Oh, yeah. No, she doesn't have a notebook like me. Those eyes. Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah. I won't test you. Pop quiz. Okay. We have Duhara.
Yep.
Who we've heard of.
Yes.
We know.
Red Sitter of the White Tower who, quote, ran off.
Yep. But also so way back when, Tamara was the Amerlin.
Yep.
During like 20 years ago, and she got murdered.
Yeah, probably by Duhara.
Well, no.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Not specifically, but maybe. But then Sierra Vayu became the Amerlin next.
Of course she did,
and chose Duhara as the keeper. So Duhara was keeper to Sierra. And then Sierra, the Amerlin, got murdered, not by the Black Ajah, but by the Red Ajah.
Ooh, it's one in the same. Okay.
Okay.
Then we have Delana.
We know Delana.
We know Halima, sidekick.
Exactly.
A gray sitter for the rebels.
They ran off, both of them.
Okay. We have Talene, a gray sitter in the White Tower, who the Black Ajah hunters caught.
Yes, we did capture this one. Good for us. Hooray! We
Now
got one.
She's also run off or something? Or is she still here?
From what we know, she's still here.
Okay. We have Moira.
Moria.
Oh, I wrote it wrong.
Like the Lord of the Rings.
No. See, I wrote
Moria.
Moira. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Moria.
It's
like the Mines of Moria.
Got it. Okay. Not
the
Moira.
Mines of Moria.
Okay. Moria.
You're ignoring me. The Mines of
I don't
Moria.
Want it. I'm ignoring it.
It's a shot, Danielle.
We can't.
Whoa, my cat almost just...
Oh,
no.
We haven't had a cat on the podcast in a long time.
That's true.
She almost just spilled my wine with her tail
on your
onto
computer.
the keyboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing,
Moria is a blue sitter for the rebels.
Yeah.
Okay, let me finish.
But I have to tell you things about Moria that we know.
The door shall not open. It'll open for those who are dead, and the dead hold it. Is that right? It was opened by those who are dead, and the dead hold it. Is that the Mines of Moria?
No.
Oh, no, he's talking about Moria the character. What did she
No,
do?
I'm talking about Lord of the Rings.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, we are so lost. Everyone's like, what is happening at this point? Okay,
It was where the Balrog was.
Okay, so before we forget and move on.
And then finish this entire episode and then come back and do a shot for
like,
the Lord of the Rings.
People are gonna come for us if we don't actually take this Lord of the Rings shot, which for sure didn't happen at all.
Yeah, here's to Moria.
We're doing it.
Here's to editing magic.
Cheers!
Yeah, okay. Moria had the Balrog, Spencer. Jeez.
Sorry, I'm a little bit rusty. I just... When I read these chapters and I typed my notes, I saw no references. So I'm a little bit annoyed. I understand that I started the first one.
Yeah, you did. You started us off.
But a 3-shot episode, almost unheard
It's a
of.
big one.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. It's been a while, but leave it up to a guest to bring it out in us on a Friday night. And it's the long weekend.
It is.
And I have an extra long weekend.
Yeah, you do.
Got a lot of stuff going. Okay, let's get back into this though.
Wait, hold on. I challenged Tyler to top my 3-shot episode.
Nice. Nice. Good one.
All right.
That's a good challenge. Okay. I want to know about Moria, the blue sitter for the rebels.
Okay, so she was the one, she's very vocal about blaming everything bad on Elida, which is kind of interesting because she's Black Ajah. And then during the rebel camp days, she was also the one who suggested they just stop paying the soldiers. And she was doing other general scheming, but she also voted to elect Egwene. So that's kind of an interesting take there on what the Black Ajah might be up to.
Oh, and then we also need to be now more cautious of Verin, who's giving Egwene a bunch of information. No, okay, never mind. Sorry. Okay.
What?
Well, now
she's dead now.
I know. Another one that I know is Mayasi. And she's the one who certainly likes her nuts cracked.
That's true. Yeah, she was also part of that conversation between the 3 white sitters.
Yeah. Of the tower.
Yeah, there's
that philosophical.
Yeah, and there was a conversation about the pattern and reality and probably ghosts. She was a part of that too.
Okay. We know Degdara.
Yeah.
I've heard her name before, but I couldn't find in my notes what the hell she did.
Yeah, so she was a yellow. She was the one who's really to ignore Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole yellow uppityness. And then she was also present for the healing of the stilling and gentling. So she was kind of mean to Nynaeve about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And now Egwene mentions Nalana, who's sworn to Rand. And that's not a name I had under Rand's name, so I was confused. Nal.
Yeah.
Aene.
Yeah, so she's one of the ones that was captured after Dumai's Wells, but she hasn't really done very much.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just a name.
Okay, now is there anyone else that we are supposed to know?
We know that Valina is a white sitter and Sador is a yellow sitter.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me write that down. White sitter in the tower or rebel camp?
So if you're Black Ajah and you swear to Rand, you're not bound to the oath rod. So your oath to Rand.
Well, here's the thing about Elsa that we know off the top of my head is we had Elsa perspectives where she had convinced herself that she was still obeying the Dark Lord, and was not betraying the Dark Lord by getting Rand to the last battle. She had, like, convinced herself of that. So...
Right. So she was doing both. But in theory, if you're black, any oath you make as an Aes Sedai, Rand assumes it has to be true because Aes Sedai can't lie. But if you're black, you can't.
100%. That part, yes. Now, Elsa was compelled, so, like, a little different. She, like, convinced herself of why she thought this way. And obviously...
So she wasn't breaking it.
Because Elsa's on this list. So, okay, now we're really circling. So now we have Verin, who's putting compulsion weaves to obey Rand, or, like, support Rand.
Yeah.
Including Elsa and Nalene.
Yeah.
And whatever she compels them to do, she's convincing them that the Dark Lord wants them to support Rand.
Right.
Which is a whole nother layer to that entire situation.
It's fantastic.
That we didn't know about.
Yeah. Now, to answer your question, the Valina and Sidor tower, not rebel camp. Moria is part of the rebel camp.
Yes.
Obviously for supporting
And you
Egwene.
said Sidor is a yellow Sidor?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't have her on my list. Okay.
We'd heard her name, like, once before. But, like, these are people, like, we don't know anything about.
Nothing.
And then, like, Zanika, Larissa, Nasida, Nacelle, Nalene, not really much. Berlin.
Kayana.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Pina, Melvara, and Chai.
Yeah, so not a whole lot on any of those people.
Okay, but, like, oh shit, this is basically everyone we've ever met and more.
It's a lot. But specifically not on the list, Romanda Lelaine.
Yes, who Egwene is kind of annoyed about.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Elida on the list.
No, Elida specifically not on the list, and in great detail about why she's not on the list.
Cadswain?
And Cadswain, yeah.
Not on the list.
Very important. And recall that whole little very tense moment between Verin and Cadswain when Verin was like, maybe I'm going to have to murder Cadswain.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If she's not on Rand's side.
Right.
There was that whole little tidbit.
Yeah, with her little poison that she
stole. Little poison. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And interestingly, no Saladar spies on the list.
I was going to say, I actually looked at the ferret list that I have so far, and we don't have any of them on this list that Egwene reads out to us.
Yeah.
So on this list, there are 200 Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
And just because Egwene hasn't read their names to us, doesn't mean some of the ones that we know aren't on that list.
But doesn't Egwene specifically say no Saladar spies? I feel like she does because that's what my notes say.
Okay. Well, then I believe you. Brett's looking it up.
Because I didn't have a list of Saladar spies.
Yeah, so two things actually. So number one, yes, none of the names of the spies sent from Saladar. And then also the group hunting the Black Ajah is really accurate too. Yeah. Which we make sense because they took all this. But just it's good to double check that.
Okay. Now, Egwene is going to do a whole lot of thinking about the implications of all of this, especially about the big names like Alviarin and the dynamic with Elida and how Alviarin must have gotten replaced and all of this stuff. Yeah. But she's interrupted by a knock at the door, and it's Nicola.
Yeah, who's here with food for Verin, not for Egwene.
For Verin Sedai.
Right, you better not eat it.
Don't eat it yourself,
Don't eat it, Egwene. And then Egwene's like, I will only eat it if it turns out Verin has no need for it. Which is funny, because she's dead.
She's getting so good at this.
She doesn't need food anymore.
Because she's dead.
Because she's dead, yeah, exactly. You get it. We
also didn't talk about how Egwene rolls her over.
Oh, yeah, because the Red
Sister...
Takes her
shoes off.
Yeah. It's
rolls her over. She's like, it'll be less suspicious if she's changed positions.
That's what you meant by, like, manipulating the body.
Yeah. That is what I meant by that. That was a weird thing I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there is, like, this little moment because Nicola doesn't actually know that Verin's dead. So she's like, hey, do you trust Verin? And then Egwene's like, yep, I trust her. And then she's like, okay, you should eat the soup, basically. Because there's a secret message in the soup.
There's a message in a small glass vial at the bottom of the soup.
It's not just a paper in the soup.
I'm going to start sending you messages in the bottom of your soup bowl.
I would love it. Just put up write little message. You don't even need the vial. Just put the paper directly in the soup.
Because sometimes I make soup and pack it for our lunches.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cute if I just like started sending you messages in your soup.
Kind of gross.
Yeah. No, it's in a glass vial.
Yeah, but then I have to pick the glass out of the soup.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do.
Wash it
off. To read my very important messages.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to wash it off because the note's safe inside.
I have to touch my soup now.
Well, he's got to touch the vial.
No, you eat your soup first.
No, but the vial is soupy.
Eat around the vial. And then what's the message going to say?
I love
Wait.
you. Have a nice day.
Wait.
Yeah, well, that's what the note says for Egwene. And she's like, okay, thanks.
Too late.
Yeah, okay.
Nope. She sighs and is like, well, okay, I guess I'm going to wait.
But also, she doesn't keep reading the book because now, like, there's too many heads popping in back. Like, it's a little bit too active.
There's voices outside, another knock, and this time, Maydani comes in. And I like that Maydani isn't a Black Ajah on this list.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like her. She's got the short end of the stick on most of her jobs and everything that she's doing.
Yeah.
Especially right now, in this moment. I kind of feel for her.
Yeah. Maydani's had a rough go.
Yeah, really rough.
Yeah.
And Egwene notes that she's wearing a low-cut dress and is like, I wonder if she has a meeting with Elida tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Maydani.
Yeah. So she comes in, and Egwene pretty much immediately breaks the news that Verin is dead, and is like, she was poisoned by a dark friend shortly before her conversation with me.
True.
And blah, 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 blah. And
she was aware of the poison, yada, yada.
Yeah. And Egwene is like, ooh, I'm so proud of myself for saying everything that was basically true.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
She's so good at almost lying.
Practicing.
Yeah. So now this is very interesting because Maydani's here to fill Egwene in on how things are going with Elida in the tower.
Because they had a whole hall meeting.
There was stuff that happened.
About Sylviana being executed or not.
Yeah. So, basically, Elida's still Amyrlin.
Yeah.
And the hall of the tower was like, hey, Elida.
Don't
do that anymore, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's as far as we got with it because she's not allowed to make decrees
or demands without consulting the hall.
So it's like, okay. And then Elida gets 3 months penance, 1 for beating Egwene, and then 2 because she's a meanie. Yeah,
to
it's like,
Sylviana.
Right. It's like, don't.
Unbecoming.
It certainly is unbecoming. You're right about that.
Yeah.
But apparently some sisters were gonna depose her right then and there, but then they didn't.
Elida wanted to have the whole thing sealed to the flame because obviously she knew it was going to be bad for her and she was going to be embarrassed, but she didn't even have enough support to do that.
Yeah, but also nothing happened to her. She got like 3 months penance, and then Elida didn't
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Is she going to the farm for 3 months?
No. The cabbage farm? Or is she going to get spanked?
Probably not. Maybe.
No, she's probably going to get spanked.
Yeah, detention after school? Like, I don't know. Just none of this sounds serious.
Like, who detains the Amberlin? That's my question.
Who penances the Amberlin? What's that like?
Yeah, we don't know. That's part of the problem. Is like we literally have no idea what this penance actually is. And what, you get 3 months detention for your actions, but she's still Amyrlin.
Yeah,
she doesn't have as much power directly, but also like this seems crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, Egwene, it's because of your insistence that the Red Ajah not get disbanded. That's why we didn't pull down Elida. And Egwene's like, I want her pulled down.
Yeah, I want the Red Ajah to stay intact, but I want Elida to not be the Amyrlin.
Yeah, like all of us don't want Elida collectively to be here anymore.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, so basically, like nothing. This is terrible. This was not the result we were hoping for.
So Sylviana is going to be held by the hall until they determine what to do with her.
Like, she's not going to get executed, but
she
also
might get a penance because she did defy the Amyrlin, technically.
Yeah, and it's like, guys, so we're in the same boat. Elida is still Amyrlin.
Yeah.
Nothing has really changed. The hall has more power, and Egwene is still,
Okay.
Egwene is still Egwene. Right here.
Yeah. So now, at this point, though, Egwene is wondering if she should start like a mass assault on the Black Ajah, or if this is going to start a battle, or like destabilize the tower even more.
Yeah, like maybe that'll get them to pull down Elida, right?
Right. And now at this point, Egwene is going to tell Maydani what she needs to do.
Yeah, orders. Okay. So first off, we got to take Alviarin into captivity and test her with the Oath Rod because she's totally Black Ajah.
Right.
And this is the information that Verin died to bring.
Ooh, yeah. And we also get Egwene asking Maydani, by the way, did they change those oaths on you?
Yes, yeah, because the 4th oath is like, obey us.
Right.
And then that apparently has been taken off, which is good.
Which is probably why the Oath Rod was missing.
Yeah, thank goodness. And we're going to take care of Alviarin, which also, my heart. Because Alviarin has caused a lot of problems.
That's true.
A lot of problems. And I had a prediction that the Black Ajah hunters were going to discover Alviarin and take her down. And,
yeah.
technically...
I mean, okay.
Technically, it's going to be them.
well, maybe we still need Maidani to get to the Black Ajah hunters to take Elviaran down, and like that has to actually happen. There's a lot of steps, but
so you're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. What happened to all this 1 in a million stuff? Right? Okay.
What an old reference.
Yeah.
Okay, now Maidani and Egwene are going to have a little more back and forth about Nicola being Egwene's biggest cheerleader with the novices, which is kind of funny because Nicola escaped the rebel camp and ran away to go against Egwene, but then was still calling her mother and stuff. When,
well, it's like effectively that's, kind of why they even got captured, because she spilled the beans and all the things, and then she really just wanted to learn faster and thought that the tower would let her, and that's not true.
She was wrong.
She was wrong. Anyways, but now Nicola is fully on Egwene's side, which is nice.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Maidani to leave, and you gotta take Verin with you.
Through a gateway.
Through the gateway.
Unfortunately, you gotta dispose of the body.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And Maidani's like, how am I gonna do that? And Egwene's like, not my problem, bitch. Figure it
out. I'm the Amerlin.
Right. Also, take this poison cup.
Take everything.
Take everything. Get out of here.
I can't have any of this in my room. This is your responsibility now.
And I mean, to be fair, like,
I'm a novice / Amerlin.
Yeah.
we do need Verin's body gone. Like, we do need to get her out of here. It's gonna be worse.
I'm just like feeling bad for Maidani because she's like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we can just weave a big old gateway, we also need to have a reason to be channeling in Egwene's room.
Yeah, it's a fake out.
It's a fake out.
So, good on Egwene for thinking of this, because also, like, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah, this could be a really big oversight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then they'd have to kill this red sister.
But
I don't know.
She also doesn't exactly explain to Maidani. She's like,
just do
start weaving some of the Aes Sedai testing weaves. Go.
Yeah.
Right?
I always love how there's like no explanation. There's no time to explain. It's like you could.
Yeah.
You could explain very easily.
Super
quickly.
Easily. But no, just
nah.
Yeah.
And so she starts weaving, and then the sister looks in and is like, she's just teaching me. Relax. And then, because Egwene's not supposed to be able to channel, so it's like, why is there channeling happening?
Yeah.
And then, when the sister leaves, we weave a gateway, we wrap Verin up in air, shoo her through the gateway.
Goodbye.
Shoo the tea through the gateway, and no one's gonna be like, where the fuck did Verin and Maidani just go?
No, she says, like, oh, when they come back, I'll tell them you both left through a gateway. She says she'll tell them that later, but, like, that's less important. Yeah.
Because sisters have their reasons.
Exactly. Don't question other Aes Sedai.
Right.
And to be fair,
never.
Yeah.
For any reason, ever at all, never again, don't do it.
Exactly.
Now, we're gonna get Egwene meeting up with Siuan in Tarvalon. No.
Not in Tarvalon.
Well, I just have TAR written in my notes. Teleran.
I know, I never write Teleran. I always write World of Dreams.
Tar what? Tarvalon. No. Tel-Aran Riyadh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is because the last time they met was last night, and Egwene was in captivity.
And now it's tonight.
Oh my gosh, so much has happened since then.
It is tonight, so now it's time for
It seems crazy that it's a whole 24 hours.
So Egwene gets to Tel-Aran Riyadh, and since Siuan isn't there yet, Egwene has some time to think about things like Sheriam being Black Ajah, Mistress of Novices, blah, 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 blah. And
the whole Grey Man attack. It's like, that was crazy.
And then that's when I went back to that Grey Man attack chapter to read it, because I was like, ooh, was Verin involved in that? No, just Sheriam.
No, just Sheriam.
But still.
Yeah, absolutely. Super suspicious. And also, Sheriam was part of healing Nat, so that's a thing too.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? Black Ajah got people on the inside.
But they also still had to keep up appearances with Aes Sedai.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, and that's super important, because I think with all of the Black Ajah, as much as they have been doing evil things, they always, like, the evil they could actually commit was always hampered by the fact that they had to keep up appearances within the tower.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important, especially with Verin. You know, like, as much as she's black, she was doing all this research, and I mean, we don't know what she did, but she always, nobody except Danielle suspected she was black.
Yeah.
I did do that.
Well, I mean, and also consider the fact, like, the objectives of the Black Ajah isn't just to, like, be evil and do evil things.
Always.
It's just, like, make sure the White Tower is ineffective and ineffectual and kind of sucks for when the Black Tower comes around. It's
and
like,
they certainly did do that.
did it. Make sure there's no hospitals.
Let's talk about
make sure there's no,
let's talk about 38 green suspected
yeah.
Sedai who all suck at any sort of battle plans at all.
And like, is that
right?
Is that the entire point of the Black Ajah existing? Is to make sure the White Tower is just
Kinda
the worst.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Because this actually feels pretty similar to when we found out that Jacob Carradine, as a White Cloak questioner guy, is also Black Ajah, because his orders as a White...
Dark Friend, but you just call him Black Ajah.
Oh, Dark Friend.
Dark Friend, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. So his orders as a White Cloak directly opposed his orders as a Dark Friend to capture and kill Rand versus keep Rand alive.
Yeah.
And so he really had to figure out what to do,
playing
how
both
to keep
sides.
up appearances with the questioners versus as a Dark Friend. So
yeah,
that didn't turn out well for him.
You could say that. Run. You could say it didn't turn out well. Yeah.
But it just kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, so then Egwene's like, okay, don't let myself go down this path of thinking, oh, what are all the things the Black Ajah has actually like implemented, and what are they actually scheming? And
it's everything.
It's everything. But you can't go down that path.
I know.
But then she does anyways. But like, don't go down that path.
So now Siuan is going to show up and catch Egwene a little off guard.
Well, yeah, because she's in full body armor.
Yeah.
and with
full
spears.
Suit of armor with spears.
She's good to go.
Now, right away, Egwene is like, Siuan, no time. Sheriam and Moria are Black Ajah. That's not all. There's so many more, but I'll give you the names later.
Yeah,
For now, we have to make sure to keep watch on Sheriam and Moria because those are the ones that cannot be alone in the rebel camp that we know of for sure.
Those are like the big names that are like right now,
that
right
have a lot
here.
Of influence and
whatever. Definitely. So we got to be careful and don't get caught alone with them. All that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we also have to brainstorm on how we're going to handle this and like take these two sisters.
Yeah.
Possibly more.
And on top of everything else, Siuan is like, are you still in captivity?
Yeah.
And Egwene's like, no, but no time for explaining that at all.
Right. It's more important. But then we don't even have time to... Actually, I want to take some time here.
Okay.
I want to take time real quick.
Me too.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay. So Egwene is trying to start brainstorming on how they're going to take these two sisters and then like justify the taking of them afterwards. And that's what I was talking about with the whole Verin book, is this is a gigantic book of names that's only useful if you can do something with it. How do you take, if you're not sure how you're going to take two sisters like Sheriam and Moria, how are you going to take 200?
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? Like, that seems kind of impossible.
Yep, you're right. I think this is more of a situation of like, we need to be aware. It's kind of like Elaine and the spies in the palace.
Yeah.
We know that you're there, and we're going to keep you there and keep an eye on everything you're doing at this point. And if you start to do something that's like annoying or evil or bad, then we can do something about it.
Yeah.
So what I think is most important about this whole reveal is that Egwene has time to reflect on the fact that Elida is not black, but Alviarin is. Yep. And obviously the blacks would want to have put in someone who is more of a puppet, and Alviarin can control, Alviarin and Galena can control and manipulate. Yeah. And then suddenly Egwene comes to this realization that she is Amberlin. Sheriam, her own keeper, is black.
Right.
And so essentially the black have succeeded in doing this in both towers.
Yeah.
Ooh, good point.
Well, it's like you don't necessarily want the top dog to be like part of your evil organization.
You just want to pull the strings.
Exactly, because there's too much heat in that top spot.
And so hopefully, as us all hoping on the side of the light, we hope that Egwene is bigger than this and was not manipulated. But I think Egwene is starting to question how much of what she actually has accomplished is her own doing or has been a manipulation of the Black Ajah. So I think that's like a really important self-reflection that she comes to in this chapter, because she talks about it, realizing I am not that different than Elida. I am also an Amberlin with a black keeper.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Now, in the rebel camp, wasn't it Sheriam who had a weird perspective where she was like beaten up or something?
Yeah, she had to steal
Yeah.
the dream triangle. That was her mission.
Oh yeah, you thought something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the beetle, it was the bugs, and I
Yeah.
thought she was
Trying to.
yes. Okay.
Sneak vent of the sneak vent.
She was sneaking.
I love that.
Out, and I was like, and it was like, what's that under? And it's like she's trying.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
No, she's probably gonna have a harder time stealing it now if someone's onto her.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that would be tough.
Except it's only Swan though, so.
Yeah, and then wasn't it like,
and
oh,
what
for
can Swan
every
really do?
For every terrain girl you don't get, I'm gonna take off one of your toes or fingers or something.
And
yeah,
shit?
yeah. So it's like, ooh, shoot, okay, sorry. Anyways, we got no time for this now
no, you're right.
Egwene starts feeling something pulling her back to the real world.
Oh my gosh!
And then she wakes up back into the real world.
Yeah.
And Nicola's here, trying to shake her awake.
Mother! Oh my gosh! And Egwene sees a gash on Nicola's cheek, like she's been cut.
Yes. Oh.
And Egwene feels the entire tower shake as if there's an explosion. And Egwene is like, oh my god, what is going on? And Nicola screams, shadow spawn in the air! Serpents are throwing flames, and weaves of the one power are destroying us. It's Tarmin Gaiden!
Oh no!
It's the last battle!
Yeah.
And Egwene's like, oh my god, the last battle's here! And then she's like, get a hold of yourself, Egwene!
Oh my
Wait
God.
a
minute.
But also, like, it's just as bad because she's like, serpents in the air, wielding the one power, or is it riders? And then she's like, oh shit.
The Seanchan have finally attacked the White Tower, just like I dreamed.
Right?
And I can barely channel enough to light a candle. Stupid fork root.
Yeah, let alone fight back. But yeah, it's go time. We got a Seanchan attack on the White Tower.
No. I was really hoping
Uh-huh.
to see something of the journey, like of the flight. Like, we're supposed to have like 3 days or something.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe something would intercept them.
Totally.
Like,
lightning stormed it, and then they just don't make it there.
oh
Perfect.
no, they certainly did.
They got there.
They're here.
And we got the bunch of Torakin and Rakin and the riders, and we got the Blood Knives who are here to stay behind afterwards.
Right, to clean up
Yep.
anyone who didn't get taken.
Exactly.
Now, my initial thought was, if like 3/4 of the tower are actually Black Ajah,
Yeah, take some of them. It's fine.
is it better if they're in Seanchan captivity?
Right.
Danielle, we said 1 in 5.
No, that's on the list.
Yeah.
And all of the and so we know there's more than that.
Right.
And a bunch of the ones that were on the list might be like out of the tower too, so there's that to consider.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
But no, we, in all seriousness, in this real life scenario that's not at all fiction,
yeah.
we don't want anybody to be enslaved. So,
well, if we're talking about like
we fight this?
Yeah, well, luckily the Aes Sedai are notorious for, battle strategies and being prepared, because Elida totally wasn't like, they're so far away.
Well, here's
it doesn't
the thing,
matter.
though. This has nothing to do with the Dark One, supposedly, right?
Sure.
And maybe
it's freaking Tuon, man.
It is. It's Tuon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Tuon anymore, but
oh no, Fortuna. It has the name Tuon in it, by the way. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Now, what do we do?
Yeah.
What happens now?
Yeah, what do we do?
It seems like...
Is Egwene like, I'll take that rescue now, please?
Probably.
I don't want to be here.
Hey, Laris, everybody out the sewer.
Yeah.
Out the back entrance.
Yeah, what, are we running away here?
None of this is okay, and that's the problem. Now, if we're thinking of escape, because I think that's probably our best strategy, I don't think we can fight back, because it's going to take too long for the Aes Sedai to really realize that they can fight back with the power.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll take too long, because like they're under attack, and unless they like immediately think, oh, it's the Dark One. Now
I feel like you got to collect your thoughts here, because
I really
like you're
do.
Yeah.
Because they're saying it's Tarmin Gaiden.
My initial thought is we escape and don't fight back, because we're not going to win. Aes Sedai are not going to win against Damani.
Okay.
Just like bottom line.
For sure.
Now, the Damani probably don't know about the rebel camp.
Unless they missed that,
I'm
going
to assume that they missed it.
Okay.
And because they're really focused on the White Tower.
For sure.
So,
okay.
like, specifically the tower.
Okay. Okay.
So, our best strategy is gateway the F out of here.
Who?
Everyone.
We're all gonna leave? You think all
Yes.
the Aes Sedai are gonna abandon Tar-Valon?
That's the best way for the ones who can.
Okay. I don't want to say this is your worst prediction yet, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's very, okay.
So I predicted a long time ago that the Seanchan was going to attack the White Tower. So gold points.
Sure.
Gold stars for me.
Just looking for wins here. Okay.
Looking for wins.
Yeah.
This situation feels bad.
Sure.
Because I really think that the Aes Sedai are ill-equipped to handle this.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't think it's going to go well, and we're all divided, and everything's bad, and they're bad at fighting, and they're bad at the power, and they're bad at everything. They're bad at organizing themselves, and they're just like bad overall.
You want to know some good news?
Yeah, tell me.
You get to read 2 chapters.
Oh, that is good news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Spence, thanks for joining us tonight.
I have had a blast. I just want to know. I just want to say, although I might go down as being known as a black, my heart is brown.
Oh, good. Actually, pure
that?
white like the light.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
And I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
It's part of the pattern now.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Feltz, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Adam, Mozyme, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, and Gabby Young. With music by Audionautics. Please be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show, like information on how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, you can visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. And if you write us a really nice review and put your Instagram or Twitter handle in the review on Apple Podcasts, we will be picking people at random to be giving out some merchandise like stickers and bookmarks, and we'll send them out to those people as a huge thank you. Now be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.